Welcome to episode 10, The Intolerable Talk Show. I am your host, Tyler Anshaw. Today, we are going to talk about The View and why the hell are they still on TV. We're going to talk about MLB Playoffs. We have our 4 teams for the ALCS and NLCS, and then college football. Some phenomenal games and a great ending last night. If you didn't see it, we'll talk about it. So, I'm scrolling through Twitter this morning, and I see a clip of The View pop up. And if you don't know The View, it has Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, Sarah Haynes for the main ones. And then they say some very, I wouldn't say idiotic, but I would say misinformed. Yeah, misinformed is a good word. A lot of misinformed comments that come from that show. And the one I saw today was Sunny Hostin, okay, is talking about everything going on in Palestine and Israel, Gaza. And she says, Hamas is just like the Proud Boys. Okay. If you don't know the Proud Boys, people call them a terrorist group. It's like neo-Nazis and things like that, people like that. And people associate them with Donald Trump. And as we know, you have the right, you have the far right, okay? You have the middle, the independents, you have the left, and then you have The View, out of sight. The View, okay? So you have them. They're far left, as far as you can possibly go left, liberal, and that's why they don't like Donald Trump. Whoopi Goldberg won't even say his name, Donald Trump's name. Won't even say it, okay? She's talking about how he had his first rally in Texas and wouldn't even say that. She says, we know, or you know who. Okay, he's not Voldemort. It's not Harry Potter, okay, Whoopi Goldberg. This is real life. All right, real life. Just say Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Okay, perfect. But let's get back to this. Sunny's comparing Hamas to the Proud Boys. Okay, last time I checked, the Proud Boys, they do not rape women. They don't kill babies. They don't burn people alive in their cars. They don't go in and just attack cities and start killing everybody who isn't their same religion or who don't practice that. So, Sunny, I don't want to say idiotic. I would like to say misinformed. You're misinformed. Why don't you compare them more to ISIS? I don't know, ISIS. They're sort of the same exact thing, except in a different region. Now that would make more sense. They do the same things, except, I don't know. Why don't you compare, why don't you talk about BLM? How they're for Palestine and they are pro-Palestine, or Palestinians, as they posted on their Facebook pages and Instagram pages. They post a hang glider, a picture of a guy on a hang glider. You know what they did to those people at the concert? They killed them. They paraded their dead bodies around through the town in the back of a truck, or burned them, okay, as they're trying to leave. Shot them from hang gliders, motorized hang gliders, and then basically burned them if they were trying to leave. They burned their cars. They burned them on the ground. So maybe do a little more research regarding everything that's going on. And she doesn't want to talk about BLM because it doesn't fit their narrative. It never will. BLM is basically proven that they made $80 million from donations, and they now live in mansions, the owners or the founders of BLM. So instead of giving back to the community like it all was for and all that, they parade around now in their mansions and do all that. So Whoopi Goldberg, I think it was at the beginning of this year, end of last year, she made some comments about Nazis and she got suspended for 2 weeks, I believe it was. She claimed that Nazis targeted African Americans as well as Jews. I believe I saw there was about 20 African Americans that were in concentration camps to 6 million Jews. 26 million. I don't know. I'm not going to say idiotic. I'm just going to say Whoopi Goldberg, you're misinformed. And she also said that it was white people doing it to white people. And as we know from history and actually currently studying, if you actually look into it, Nazis did not consider Jews, I think it was racially pure. So that's why they wanted to get rid of them. And they wanted the blonde hair, blue eyes throughout everybody. And Jews did not fit that, and that is why they were executed, sent to concentration camps, stripped of all their clothes, shaved their heads, and put them in gas chambers. Okay? Yeah, go look into Auschwitz, Whoopi Goldberg. Okay, and she said, just listen, Jews could blend in easier. And race wasn't a factor. Okay. How she is on TV just blows my mind. How are the producers just not kicking her off and actually dealing with it? Well, we all know why, because it fits their narrative, because they can talk about it all they want, and the people who are in charge of that love that. Okay. But again, Donald Trump's racist. And the people who vote for him and the right are racist because of that. Okay. Joy Behar, she's got a couple of good ones too. She says, I'll quote it, "It's one thing to talk to Jesus, but if he talks to you, that's a mental illness." Okay. So a mental illness is basically considered when you're praying to Jesus, you can pray to him. He can't basically come to you with signals and where to go in life. And I've seen multiple videos of people who have been praying to Jesus, and basically he's come to them and they have actually spoken to people who are in trouble or found somebody who's in trouble and saved them. And it has happened multiple times. I've seen multiple videos on it. But let's go back to this. This is what The View loves. They are all for LGBTQ+. And that's okay. But how can you call that a mental illness if you can't agree that there are two genders? There's two genders, okay? And two pronouns, he, she. How can you say that that's a mental illness versus what you think is mental illness, and you think that children should be able to be mutilated basically to a different gender? So if gender isn't such a thing and there's only two genders, why do you need gender affirming care or gender affirming surgeries to become a different gender if gender isn't a thing? Come on, The View. Use your heads. And she also was saying, this is about Ukraine and Russia. Sunny was telling him about everything she's concerned with Western Europe and everything going on and all the people that could die from Russia attacking Ukraine. And Joy Behar says, yes, I am concerned with Western Europe. I've been trying to go to Italy for 4 years now and I can't. I can't vacation there. So you have millions of people and thousands of people dying, and you're concerned about your vacation to Italy over the people's lives. She said the pandemic, and then she said all this going on. I can't go to Italy. The regular human people, middle class, Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin. That's where we're at, okay? You're so privileged, and it is so ironic that you can preach all day about you care about the people and all this, and then you come out and say stupid shit like that. Okay. All right, I'm done with The View. They should not be on television, and I don't know why people even consider watching them nonstop. The only clips I see are from the stupid stuff that they say and some of the misinformed shit that they say. So if you support The View, I don't understand. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't know. So, all right, I'm done with them. On to the MLB games that just happened. I'm shocked. I thought the Dodgers were going to put on a better show. I thought the Braves would put on a better show. my old junior college coach, is a huge Braves fan, and he's got so pissed, and he's on Twitter tweeting out like Morgan Wallen should change his song from the 98 Braves to the 2023 Braves. Because he's just saying their approaches were so bad at the plate. And I mean, they were the best offensive team in the league by far. And the basic break that they had, I think they had 5 days off. And people are saying that's an issue and that's why everything happened, which it might. You know, you get hot at a certain time. Like the Phillies came back, played 3 games, already back into it. And the Braves basically got that break. So, but the Phillies did a hell of a job. Bryce Harper hit a couple bombs the other night, like no doubters. Nick Castellanos last night hit 2. Spencer Strider left a 100-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle, and he hit an absolute nuke. And I think it's the first home run that Spencer Strider's given up on any fastball over 100 or 100 plus. Unbelievable. I mean, again, I play college baseball. I've seen 98 a couple times. It's fast. It blows your mind how quick it like actually gets on you. So to even, you know, turn on 100 is super impressive. Those guys are unbelievable. And so, yeah, and now the D-backs dominated the Dodgers. So we're going to see where that goes. The offense was there for both teams and pitching was there too. So shout out to the Phillies and the Diamondbacks for getting through both of those series. And now they'll play in the ALCS. Their first game is October 16th. Okay. And then on to Texas and the Astros. What else can you say? The Astros are so good. I mean, they're right back on track. Would it be shocking if they won another World Series? Probably not. Probably not. But Texas is really good as well. So I don't know. What do you do? Again, people are saying because the Orioles and the Rays had the breaks because they were the best teams in baseball. Then I don't think the Rays had a break. I think they played in a wild card, but because they had a break, that they lost all their momentum, which is kind of true. You know, momentum is a big thing in sports. So the Astros, Texas, that starts October 15th, and then we'll see what happens there. It's tough not to pick the Astros. I mean, they just won last year, so should be 2 great series. I believe these are best of 7 as well, so you got to win 4 games. So, all right. I love to talk about this. I know a lot of people love to listen about college football. I listen to so many different people. And there was a game last night. West Virginia at Houston. Okay. It was phenomenal. So West Virginia is driving down the field in the 4th. I think they're down 4. And they scored a touchdown. Yeah, they're down 11. And they scored a touchdown with about 5 or 6 minutes left, 5.5 minutes left. And they end up getting the ball back, throwing a monster touchdown. I think it was like 50 plus yard touchdown with being down 4. So they scored a touchdown with 22 seconds left in the 4th. Okay. And so they took a 3-point lead going into the last 20 seconds of the game. And there was a celebrating issue because they just scored. So they got I believe personal fouls or whatever you want to call it for celebrating. And Houston, from about the 50 as well, get the ball and throws a Hail Mary, hits off their wide receiver's hands. There's 8 people down there at the goal line. Hits off his hands, he's falling down. Somebody else on Houston comes and grabs it, touchdown to win the game. Houston won on a final Hail Mary. Unbelievable. I didn't watch the game. I wish I would have, but it was on some highlights I saw this morning. Just unbelievable. So good for Houston. All right, let's talk about, there's about 2, 4, 5, 6 games I want to get into. Ohio State at Purdue. Noon. This is a noon kickoff. And I believe every coach since John Cooper. So you have John Cooper, Jim Tressel,
I didn't get that.
Urban, and besides Ryan Day. I don't think Ryan Day's lost there, but every coach from John Cooper has lost at Purdue. So if Ryan Day does that, then he just joins that list. Is Purdue going to upset? I don't know. Could they upset? Absolutely. It's football, especially Big Ten football. You just never know. Again, OSU's been ranked probably most of those years and have gone to Purdue, either ranked Purdue or unranked Purdue, and lost. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what Kyle McCord can do. We'll see what that defense can do. JT Tuimoloau had a pretty good game last time they played. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, Kyle McCord, just throw it up to Marvin Harrison Jr. and you're probably going to win the football game, realistically, or Igbuka. So we'll see. But the biggest game of the week. Okay, there's two big games, but this is the biggest game. This is a Pac-12 matchup, 3:30 kickoff, Oregon at Washington. Oregon has been really good defensively, offensive line, defensive line. Bo Nix in that offense has been very good as well. I mean, we all see they routed Colorado, dominated, and USC came down to a final onside kick. So Washington has Michael Penix Jr. I believe he's a Heisman frontrunner right now and should be a first-round draft pick, depending on if they – I mean, he's not very mobile anymore with the surgeries that he's had, but Michael Penix Jr. is up there for Heisman. He's been unbelievable. They have really good wide receivers. Their defense is pretty good as well. It's at Washington. That place is going to be so packed. Pac-12 matchup. I think Washington is going to pull it out. They went into they had a thriller last year as well, and Washington won that game, I think, by 3. And again, Washington has just been so good. I don't know if Oregon can keep up on offense. Washington, I think, is the highest scoring team in the country right now. And Penix hasn't even played a few fourth quarters this year. So we'll see. But watch that game. That is one to watch. I don't know if Dan Lanning and Oregon can keep up, but if they do, it'll be because of their defense. I mean, Bo Nix has really complete control of that offense. He's also throwing he's not taking as many shots downfield, so he's taking little screen passes. But, I mean, if you have the guys to do that, then do that. I mean, if you're going to gain 10 yards per screen, just throw screens the whole game. So I think Washington's going to win that one. The game before that, I think Ohio State's going to win as well. But you never know. Okay. The 7:30 game, you have USC at Notre Dame. The weather is not supposed to be in favor of throwing the football, and USC's running defense is not very good. But I guess you can sell out to the run if Sam Hartman's not going to be able to throw the football. I think it's supposed to be like 50 and rainy, so that hurts Caleb Williams as well. But the defensive line for Notre Dame is a lot better than defensive line for USC on rushing. Pass rush, USC is better. However, when you have the backs that Notre Dame has, and on a rainy day, USC is the worst tackling team in the country, you kind of like your chances. I think Notre Dame's a favorite too, even after they've lost. They have this is their 4th game in a row against a ranked team. They lost at home against Ohio State on the final play with 10 people in the field. You beat Duke, and then you get dominated at Louisville. So this is a huge step for them. It's a plus that they're at home. If Sam Hartman can have a better game than he has, he's been solid all year. He's had one bad game at Louisville. If he can open up, spread out the defense, then I like Notre Dame's chances because, again, it's going to be wet, tough tackling, slippery. I think there's going to be high winds as well. So throwing the football is basically all USC does. Caleb Williams throws it 40-plus times a game. And they just came out of a barn burner win against Arizona, where they probably should have lost that game. So I guess Arizona's a little better than everybody thought. They played a 7-point game against Washington too, but still. Number 10 USC could lose against Notre Dame. Notre Dame, I think, has like a 62% chance of winning on ESPN's, basically what is their percentage of wins. So I have said Notre Dame is going to win 3 weeks in a row, and I have been let down twice. So I don't want to say that, Brett. I know you're a Notre Dame fan, but I don't want to say that. But with the conditions, it's definitely Notre Dame's favorite. I'm not going to pick a team just because. I don't want to jinx anybody. Well, shit, if I do that, then USC is going to win. So, all right. On the next game, 7:30 game, Miami at UNC. UNC just beat the brakes off of Syracuse last week. Miami, oh my gosh, you lost to Georgia Tech last week. You lost to Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech is terrible, okay? They're terrible. And you went and lost on a stupid call from Mario Cristobal on running the football instead of just taking a knee and ending the game. So you have Drake May, who's going to be a top 3 to 5 pick, depending on what teams need him. And Miami, Tyler Van Dyke, I think he threw 2 picks against Georgia Tech. So UNC's offense is very good. I think UNC is going to win this by at least 2 scores. Yeah, I mean, people are going to say, oh, it's an ACC matchup, but it's at home, and you have Drake May, and you just got, I believe, Tez Walker back as well. So I like UNC in that game. UCLA at Oregon State. UCLA lost a close one, 14-7 to Utah, and they came out and just beat Washington State, handled Washington State. Oregon State, DJ Ugalalale, whatever, DJU, has had a pretty good year so far. Oregon State has, I think they beat Utah as well with no Cam Rising. So this should be a really good game. Again, I think it's going to depend on defense. I think Oregon State's a better defensive team. Weapons-wise, I mean, UCLA has a young quarterback too. DJ has some experience. I think, and it's at Oregon State. I think Oregon State's going to win this football game just because of those reasons. Veterans, more experience. So, yeah, I like Oregon State in that game. And Washington State plays Arizona this week. Okay, we're going to have 7 games. This is just an extra one I just thought of. Washington State is playing Arizona. Arizona's going there. And Arizona, again, it's been a 1-score game. They went triple overtime against USC. They lost by one touchdown to Washington. Again, who's now ranked 7th and a 10th-ranked team. So Arizona's a little better than we think. And so they are traveling to Washington State. They could knock off Washington State. I think they were 13th. They might be 13th. But, again, Washington State just came off a loss to UCLA. So they're not 13th. I don't know what their ranking is. But they just came off a loss. And Arizona, who's playing very well. Okay, if you limit turnovers, they probably beat USC. And so Washington State heads up again. You might be out of the complete running, but these games, Oregon, Washington, USC playing, UCLA, huge implications for the Pac-12. Pac-12 is the deepest right now, deepest conference altogether. So some big Pac-12 implications and college football playoff implications as well. So and we're going to end on Indiana coming to Michigan. Go Blue. Indiana has not been very good this year. Michigan has steamrolled the last 2 weekends at Nebraska and at Minnesota. So that's a noon kickoff as well. Big noon kickoff with Joel Klatt and Gus Johnson. They're the best, I think, in the game, announcing-wise. But our defense has been really good. I know I got told I'm a little biased with Michigan because I say us instead of Michigan, blah, blah, blah. But I'm a big fan. So I literally drink beer and watch Michigan football every Saturday. So I'm going to say us. Screw it. And I think Michigan's going to win this game. I think that we're a 30-something point favorite. I don't know if we'll cover. We have the last 2 weeks. But 30 is a lot for Michigan football. So I'm not sure if they'll cover, but I believe they'll win by at least 3 scores. At least 3 scores. So let's go have a good day. JJ, Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, need to get him going. But the defense has been really good, so I think we'll be fine. If you're not following and you enjoyed this, give us a follow here on Spotify. Give us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, what was the other one? Facebook at The Intolerable Talk Show, and then also on Twitter and YouTube at Intolerable Talk. If that doesn't work, if it doesn't pop up, search my name, Tyler Anshaw, and it should pop up. But again, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed, again, give us a follow, send it to a friend. So thank you, and have a great weekend.